Hello, today we embark on a journey to the ancient Near East to explore a phenomenon that has captivated and challenged scholars for centuries: prophecy. Understanding prophetic traditions in the ancient Near East is crucial for a richer and more nuanced interpretation of biblical prophecy. Our guide to this exploration will be MARTTI NISSINEN'S comprehensive work, Prophets and Prophecy in the Ancient Near East. It is a landmark study that brings together a vast array of textual evidence and offers insightful analysis. In this video, we will define prophecy within the context of the ancient Near East, examine key sources of prophecies from Mari, Assyria, and Palestine, identify common features and functions of A&E prophecy, and briefly touch upon the relationship between the biblical and the A&E prophecy. One of the immediate challenges in studying A&E prophecy is arriving at a universally applicable definition. Nissinen cautions against imposing rigid categories, arguing that the prophetic phenomenon in the ancient Near East was diverse and multifaceted. Instead of focusing solely on the office or status of the prophet, he proposes that we shift our attention to the prophetic process. This process, according to Nissinen, involves four essential components: a divine sender, the ultimate source of the prophetic message, the message itself, the content of the divine communication, a human transmitter, the prophet who conveys the message, and a human recipient, an individual or group to whom the message is directed. It is important to acknowledge that distinguishing prophecy from the other forms of divination or oracular communication in the ancient Near East might be difficult. Many A&E societies employed various methods to discern the divine will, including ectasy, examining animal entrails, echinomancy, oil and water, or astrology. While these practices share some similarity with prophecy, a key distinguishing factor, according to Nissinen, is the explicit articulation of the prophetic communication process. For a text to be considered prophetic, it should ideally make clear who is speaking, the deity, who is spoken to, the recipient of the message, and who is delivering the message, the prophet. Nissinen's work draws upon a wide range of written sources, but we focus on three prominent areas: Mari, Assyria, and Syro-Palestinian region. The royal archives of Mari, dating back to the Old Babylonian period, early 2nd millennium BCE, have yielded a wealth of letters containing prophetic utterances. In Mari, prophets operated within the context of the royal court and the temple. They were part of the broader divinatory apparatus, though not necessarily the highest-ranking members. Prophetic messages in Mari often addressed immediate political concerns such as military campaigns, alliances, and the well-being of the king. They also conveyed divine demands related to the cult, including instructions for offerings and rituals. Royal control over prophetic activity is evident in these texts. Neo-Assyrian prophetic texts of the 1st millennium BCE, mainly oracles, are closely associated with the royal court, particularly during the reign of Esarhaddon, 7th century BC. These oracles frequently dealt with political and military matters, offering divine assurance and guidance to the king in times of crisis. Royal ideology and the concept of divine support for the king are prominent themes. In comparison to cuneiform sources, there are few West Semitic texts that contain prophecies or reference to prophets and their activities, and none of them is complete. Arguably, the most important of these is the plaster inscription uncovered at Tel Deir Allah in the eastern Jordan Valley. It describes the visionary experience of the seer Balaam, son of Beor, who is also known in the Bible. Also fragmentary is an Ammonite inscription that records a prophetic oracle delivered to the king in the name of Milcom, the patron god of the Ammonites. The oracle bears some semblance to the genre of salvation oracles known from the Bible and elsewhere in the ancient Near East. Elements of such salvation oracles are also evident in the Aramaic stela of Zakkur, king of Hamath. Several Hebrew letters from Nachish also mention prophets and their activities. Despite the diversity of prophetic expressions, we can identify some common features and functions. Prophecies were frequently used to legitimize royal power, endorse political decisions, and assure the king of divine favor. Let's look at the oracle of Kittitum, Ishtar of Ishnuna to Ibalpiel. It is likely based on prophetic performances in the temple of Kittitum, in the archive of which they probably have been deposited. This oracle assures King Ibalpiel II of Ishnuna of divine support for his rule and legitimizes his kingship by presenting it as divinely ordained. Inamilki sa ili, inasipti sa anim madum anabelum nadnatkum. On the advice of the gods and by the command of Anu, the country is given you to rule. In times of war, political instability, or natural disasters, prophets offered divine guidance, encouragement, and promises of deliverance. Many of the MARTTI prophecies served this function. They offered guidance and reassurance during times of political instability or military threats. This is a letter from an apulum of Shamash to Zimri-Lim. Umma Shamashma, bel mati manaku. Kutsem rabem anasubat lalia umaratka sairisuka archis anatsipar albalatim lisach mitu. Anuma sarusana panika idzizonikum u istachitunika anakatika iknusu. Ananum gurnatum inamatin nadnatkum. Thus says Shamash, I am the lord of the land. Send quickly to Sippar, the city of life, a great throne for my enjoyable dwelling, and your daughter whom I desired from you. Now the kings who confronted you and regularly plundered you have submitted to your power. Now the heap of the enemy's corpses is given to you in the land. Some prophetic messages focused on religious matters, calling for cultic reforms, adherence to divine commands, or the proper performance of rituals. For example, a letter from Kibri Dagan to Zimri-Lim demanded an offering dedicated to the late Yahdun-Lim. Humut ana sarri supurma, kitspe ana et emmim sa Yahdun-Lim likrubu. Hurry up and deliver a message to the king that a kispum offering be performed for the spirit of Yahdun-Lim. While less prevalent than in biblical prophecy, there are instances where ANE prophetic texts may allude to social concerns or ethical issues. Prophets in the ancient Near East employed various means to receive and convey divine messages, including dreams, visions, ecstatic states, and oracles. It is crucial to interpret ANE prophecies within their specific cultural, historical, and religious contexts. Understanding the beliefs, values, and social structures of these societies is essential for grasping the meaning and significance of their prophetic traditions. There are undeniable parallels between the ANE prophecy and biblical prophecy. Both ANE and biblical prophecy share some common forms, such as oracles and prophetic narratives. They also address similar themes, including divine judgment, promises of salvation, and the role of the divine in human affairs. However, there are also significant differences. Biblical prophecy, particularly in the later prophetic books, places a stronger emphasis on social justice, monotheism, and the unique covenant relationship between God and Israel. In conclusion, the study of ANE prophecy, as exemplified by NISSINEN'S work, provides invaluable context for understanding the broader phenomenon of prophecy in the ancient world. By examining the diverse expressions of prophecy in Mesopotamia, Assyria, Palestine, Egypt, and other regions, we gain a richer appreciation for the complex interplay between the divine and the human in these societies.